Ever wondered what happens when courtroom decorum is completely disregarded? Get ready to witness the top 5 most disrespectful defendants ever to make headlines. We dive into the most jaw-dropping courtroom moments ever caught on camera. Today we're exploring the top 5 most disrespectful defendants who turned their trials into chaotic spectacles. From violent outbursts to bizarre antics, these cases show just how far some individuals will go to defy the legal process. If you're fascinated by courtroom drama and want to see how these defendants' actions impacted their trials, you're in the right place. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on any of our latest content. Let's get started and see these courtroom clashes unfold. Courtrooms are often the stage for intense legal battles, but sometimes they become arenas for dramatic and unsettling outbursts. This article explores several notable cases where defendants' behavior not only influenced the proceedings, but also became a central part of their trials. From violent attacks to bizarre courtroom antics, these cases highlight the complexities of handling high-stress situations in the judicial system. 5. Bryce Rhodes. Extended trial and erratic behavior.
But let me say this, when a question is asked of you, you can answer it yes, no, or I don't remember. And if you want to, you can explain more.
Bryce Rhodes' trial in Louisville, Kentucky demonstrates how prolonged legal battles can be compounded by a defendant's erratic behavior. Rhodes, charged with 3 counts of murder, embarked on a killing spree that began with the mistaken shooting of an innocent man. His subsequent murders of 2 teenage witnesses further complicated his case. Rhodes' courtroom conduct was marked by bizarre and disruptive actions. His behavior included blowing kisses to the victims' families and making strange hand gestures. These actions, coupled with the repeated firings of his lawyers, extended the duration of his trial and created a chaotic courtroom environment. Rhodes' behavior also included spitting on his attorney and making unfounded accusations against the judge. These outbursts reflected his unstable state of mind and contributed to the trial's extended duration. Despite the ongoing legal process, it is clear that Rhodes' actions have ensured he will remain behind bars for the foreseeable future. 4. Bass Webb. From attempted murder to courtroom disrespect.
And left Bass Webb, the man who spit in the face of Judge Vanessa Dixon, with additional charges. Before this,
Bass Webb's courtroom behavior was marked by extreme disrespect and aggression. Charged with 2 counts of attempted murder in Lexington, Kentucky, Webb's trial was overshadowed by his violent actions and disrespectful behavior towards the court. His dark past, including prior convictions for murdering 2 girlfriends, painted a troubling picture of his character. During a security camera footage, Webb was seen attempting to run over 2 employees at a jail where he had previously served time. His first court appearance was marked by an attempt to spit on the judge, an act that resulted in his immediate removal from the courtroom. The judge, clearly upset by the assault, had to deal with Webb's egregious lack of respect for the legal process. Webb's tattoos, which listed people he intended to kill and included disturbing imagery, further highlighted his dangerous mindset. His trial revealed a complete lack of remorse, and the jury's verdict reflected the severity of his actions. Webb was sentenced to life in prison, a consequence of his violent behavior and the disrespect he showed towards the court. 3. Jeremy Christian. Racial rant and courtroom outbursts.
I should have killed you, among other profane things. You can see here Christian was taken out of court. He's been removed from his own sentencing hearing, currently still underway.
Jeremy Christian's trial provides a disturbing glimpse into the consequences of unchecked racial hatred and violence. Christian was convicted of stabbing 2 men to death and injuring a 3rd on a train in Portland, Oregon, after launching into a racial tirade. His actions led to his arrest and a subsequent trial marked by his troubling behavior. During the sentencing phase, Christian's conduct took a further downward spiral. As a victim's family member delivered an emotional impact statement, Christian erupted with a hostile outburst. His comments, filled with vitriol and threats, demonstrated his lack of remorse and further highlighted the depths of his anger and hatred. The courtroom scene, already charged with emotion, became even more intense due to Christian's disruptive actions. Ultimately, Christian was sentenced to 2 consecutive life terms plus more than 25 additional years for his other convictions. The trial underscored the challenges of managing a defendant who remains unrepentant and combative, adding a layer of difficulty to the legal process. 2. Darrell Brooks. Self-representation and courtroom mayhem.
Just said no. How many
Okay.
times I gotta say the same thing on record?
You know, sometimes, sir, I don't hear what you say because you interrupt.
Darrell Brooks's case is a harrowing example of how self-representation can exacerbate courtroom issues. Brooks, convicted of driving his SUV into a Christmas parade in Waukesha, Wisconsin, killing 6 people and injuring many others, chose to represent himself in court. This decision led to a series of chaotic and disruptive incidents that further complicated his trial. Brooks's behavior in court was marked by frequent interruptions and outbursts. His inability to control his emotions and his disregard for the judicial process was evident when he laughed during witness testimonies and made threats against individuals involved in the case. His frustration with the proceedings was palpable, culminating in a confrontation with the judge over the pronunciation of the word defendant. Brooks's refusal to adhere to courtroom norms led to multiple removals from the courtroom, underscoring his inability to manage his trial effectively. The jury's verdict against Brooks was decisive, finding him guilty on all 76 charges. The court imposed 6 life sentences plus over 700 additional years, a reflection of the severity of his crimes and the disruption he caused during the trial. Brooks's behavior throughout the trial only added to the gravity of his sentencing, highlighting the challenges of dealing with a defendant who refuses to cooperate with the legal process. 1. Alan McCarty, from custody dispute to courtroom chaos.
McCarty's removed again.
Alan McCarty's legal troubles began with a contentious child custody case. McCarty, facing the loss of his parental rights, responded with threats against the judge who ruled against him. This case illustrates how personal frustration can escalate into criminal behavior, affecting not only the lives involved but also the legal process itself. After being charged with making death threats, McCarty's courtroom behavior took a turn for the worse. His anger and frustration were evident as he disrupted court proceedings, shouting and creating a scene. In one instance, he screamed about his children and expressed his displeasure with the court's decisions in a highly confrontational manner. Despite warnings and attempts to control his outbursts, McCarty continued to display erratic behavior. Following his conviction for threatening the judge, McCarty faced a sentencing phase marked by further disruption. He was moved to a separate room with one-way glass to observe the court, but even from there, his presence was felt as he continued to cause disturbances. Ultimately, McCarty was sentenced to 20 years in prison. His disruptive behavior in the courtroom earned him an additional 10-day sentence, reflecting the court's frustration with his inability to comply with basic courtroom decorum. That's a wrap on our countdown of the top 5 most disrespectful defendants ever seen in court. These cases are a stark reminder of how volatile and unpredictable courtrooms can become when decorum is thrown out the window. Which of these defendants shocked you the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with friends who might find it just as intriguing. Don't forget to subscribe for more riveting content and hit the bell icon so you're always updated on our latest releases. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time for more courtroom drama.